Hi, today I'm going to talk about the top 10 video games I played in 2020. Uh, you know, some commentary. I have a PS4, I have a Nintendo Switch, I don't have an Xbox, I don't really play PC, so sorry about that. And some of the games I played came out earlier. This is only the first year I got a chance to play them. And I do know this video is a little bit later, but still learning the whole YouTube thing, so please be forgiving. Thanks. Kind of the thing to keep in mind is that don't have a ton of time to play, and so even though there's like all these games being released, I can't play them all. And so based on what I did get a chance to play and just what's out there, these are my recommendations. So I kind of list some pros and cons for my top 10. So let's start. Number 10, Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing came out at the perfect time. You could play online, you could do all these things, you could build your island. It had chores, it had things to do, and it's just a lot of fun. It's fun to dress up with your character, it's fun to, put the buildings around the island, and then eventually get to the point where you can even, rebuild the entire island, move rivers around, move cliffs around. It's pretty amazing. So I think this game is fun. I think collecting the things is generally fun. Collecting fish is fun. Building the furniture is a rewarding loop. But why is it number 10? Because after a while, it's just, oh man, more chores, more weeds to do. And even making money, it's like, I was using like an online calculator to figure out when to buy and sell my belt, like the turnips and stuff, and I was like, this is a little bit too much work. So definitely it's fun for a lot of people, but after a while I moved on to other things. Number 9, Pokemon Shield. And I know some people may not like this, but you know what, when this game came out and you saw the wild area and you could see the Pokemon running around, it was great. It was an evolution for the game. And the main reason why I'm listing it now in the 2020 list is with the DLC, it was just that much better. Isle of Armor was great, Crown Tundra was great, more Pokemon, more wild Pokemon, more stories, more things going on. All that was fantastic. It's a very fun game. Why is it number 9? You see this text here, right? So here's a character talking to you, except it's not. They're not talking to you. It's text. And so it's kind of embarrassing for Nintendo and Game Freak that, so many years later, technology has advanced so much and you still have to read like the text. There's no voice acting. And, especially considering things like, Fire Emblem Three Houses, basically any modern game that does have voice acting, Pokemon needs to get it together. And then the other thing was, I didn't even finish the DLC, to be honest. I made it to, Crown Tundra. There's a point where you kind of have to like pick a Pokemon. And so there's like legendary, like the white legendary and like the black legendary, basically. And that was a little bit frustrating for me. I worked really hard with like Pokemon Home to finish the first Pokedex. And then, to get to the DLC and it's like, oh, more exclusivity, right? Like you can't get them all, you have to trade. And I was like, okay, and then Pokemon Home wasn't really helping. So I was like, I just kind of ran out of steam. So it is fun. Pokemon's going in a good direction, but if you want to get them all, it's not easy to get them all. Number 8, Pikmin 3 Deluxe. So here's a game that did come out in 2020, and boy, was this a fun game. Moving with your Pikmin around the map, collecting fruit, fighting enemies, losing Pikmin to your enemies. It was just a fun time. And and I'm really glad I didn't sleep on the side stories because as it was, the game was a little bit short. But then when you did the side stories, it was just a lot more going on, more things to do with your Pikmin, and that was great. So this is definitely a great game. The big thing I didn't like was it was just so short. I felt like the main story, it was just, not even 10 hours and you're done. And then with the side content, it does add a couple more things to do, but not that much. And so Pikmin's great, and I want more, but do keep in mind that for this particular game, you're not going to get dozens and dozens of hours of content, but still worth it. Still a good pick. Number 7, Gwent Thronebreaker. So this is another oldie, but man, was this a good game. So and mind you, this is what it looks like. So you're controlling a little here, the little character here, Maeve, and you're a queen and you're running around the country and you're fighting enemies and armies and monsters and all this kind of stuff, and the game is just card based, so you're playing the Gwent card game, and you're trying to get more points than your enemies, or there's some puzzles where some of the puzzles you have to do specific things, and wow, it was just such a good game. Like the music was good, like the like the mechanics, like the actual deck building was fun, and then like the story was very engaging. Like there were points where an enemy would ambush you and you lose 1,000 gold, and I'm like, it's time for revenge, even if there's story consequences, because you don't do that to me. So Gwent Thronebreaker was really fun. What's a negative? I think a negative is that in a very small amount of the missions in the game, you might need like a particular strategy to succeed, and if you didn't build up the cards to have that strategy, that can be a little difficult. So that was like a minor frustrating thing. But oh man, this was a good game, and I played it last summer. And it's cheap, so you can get it on. I played it on Switch, but you can get it on PC, and I would recommend this. Number 6, Pokemon Go, another oldie, but man, you know what? Niantic has kept it together with like weekly events. So every week there's an event for something, and so it's pretty easy to stay engaged and pretty easy to participate and look for specific Pokemon. Sometimes it'll be like Electric Week, or it'll be Fire Week, or whatever the case, or it'll be like Kalos, the new region or whatever. And then the raids are really engaging, and then an excuse to meet with people is great. And so I did enjoy. I think the Unova, the black and white, legendaries, hunting for that was fun, and you don't just catch the Pokemon, you can battle with them, and the PvP is good and it's challenging, and I like it. It's rewarding, and it is fun to play this game, and you can give it hours per week, and there's plenty to do, even years after the launch. So Pokemon Go is doing something right. What's it not doing right? They do try to monetize you quite a bit, and so they do try to sell you different boxes for Pokecoins, and some Pokecoins you can get playing, but another way you can spend money on them. So that's like a negative. And then there's been other events where they do try to bill you, $6 to whatever, or $12 to do this, and so some of that can be a little not fun. So that would be a negative. But you know what? I'm still playing, I'm still catching Pokemon, and it's still a fun thing to do in between other things. At this point, I'm going to just do some honorable mentions. Like I said, I don't have unlimited time. I can't play all the things, but I do want to say that from what I've seen from Among Us was pretty cool. Even politicians are playing this game, and my friends asked me to play this. I just the schedules didn't quite work out. This seemed like a fun game. I did play Overcooked with people, on the Switch, and so that's like a fun game to do, like a fun party game. Or maybe you're like, what about board games? And lately we've been playing Wingspan, got it in 2020, and this is a good, deep game. So other things to do if my top 10 list isn't right for you. Moving on to number 5, Paper Mario: The Origami King. Oh man, it's at points like this where I'm happy I'm not a hardcore gamer, because I didn't suffer through the baggage of having played the other games. And people on YouTube will say, oh, Thousand Year Door was great, and I'm sure, right? But I didn't play that game, and so I was able to walk into this Paper Mario game fairly fresh. I didn't really play many of the other ones, and it was fun. Like, I had a good time. Like, the origami concept was really good, and the dialogue was amazing. And this is like a silly one, but there's so much dialogue in this game, and like a lot of people talking, and it's just really funny. Like, I really enjoyed this story. I played it all the way to the end. I thought the battle mechanic was interesting. Not many games do something like this, and overall I liked that. Could have been better, sure, but overall I liked it. And the music. So if you can YouTube like the Vellumental battle music, that was great. The Disco Devil music is also great. So there's a lot of bangers in this game, and I just think they did a lot right. Is it the perfect game? No. And I know that if you play the other games, the past Paper Mario games, you might feel a little bit disappointed, sure. But I think what's here is very, enjoyable. What's not enjoyable? So closer to the end, once you beat it, there's like collectibles and stuff. And as you can see here, they're not always the most engaging things to do. So once I kind of beat the final boss, I'm like, I'm done. I collected maybe 80% of the of the things, and that was enough for me. So Paper Mario's fun. Definitely a great ride. You might even be able to find it at a discount. 100% of this game is maybe diminishing returns, but that's on you. Number 4, Resident Evil 2. So I know this is like an oldie, like it came out a while ago, but I bought it in 2020 because it was on sale, Black Friday, and this is when I played it, and man, was this a great game. The atmosphere was great, you feel the horror, monsters are chasing you down, and it is just a great game. Atmospheric horror, action, resource management, had to save your bullets and stuff, and that was good. I enjoyed the story. And another benefit of playing it late was that I got all this extra DLC for fun, and so I was able to play and lose playing all these extra characters. But at least that was there, and that was not something I had at launch. And so I think that's another reason a good reason for me to have played it in 2020. Again, I have limited time, and sometimes I don't play things as soon as they come out. What was a negative? So I played. There's like the Leon and like the Claire stories, and so I played both of those on normal, and that was fun. And then I played, I think, one of them in hard, and that was fun too. Kind of where you run out of steam is that in order to like get all the things like this, like infinity minigun or whatever, you have to like beat it on hard under 3 hours and no saving. And I get that for some people, like mastering a game can be just what they want to do. It's just again, like just for me, I have limited time. I was like, oof. I wish some of these, end of game collectibles were, a little bit easier, not so much, stressful where you play for an hour and then you die and you have to like start all over, or you have to like, min max and know exactly like what moves to do, move to the left, move to the right to dodge a specific enemy. So that's not super fun for me, but I know for some people they like getting expert at a game, and so Resident Evil 2 has a lot of depth, so you can get that expert level if you want. Great game, great story, great atmosphere. Would recommend. Number 3, Cyberpunk 2077. So this is a game that did come out in 2020, and I think my next ones all came out in 2020, and this is just a good game. And so Night City is alive. It's great. It's great to explore. There's a lot going on here. There's a lot of shops and stuff, and it is just fun. And I took kind of like the hacking route, and it is kind of cool to just look at people and watch them fall. So that's enjoyable. And I think the stories. There's a lot of content in here, and there's a lot of different ways that the content can go, and so I think this is a good game. Is it perfect? No. And so one of the things that I don't like is just kind of like surprising the player. And so you might be in a mission, and in order to do a thing or to have a certain dialogue, you might need like a certain skill check. And when you're playing, you can level up whatever skill you want, but you can't level all of them up. And so it has happened to me where I can't have a dialogue because I didn't have a certain skill, and I'm like, man, if I had known that, I would have maybe reskilled a little bit differently. And those are permanent, so that wasn't the most fun. And people will talk about the bugs, and has it crashed on me? Yes. But every month the game gets better, and I'm still playing it. Like, I haven't finished it, and I'm excited to continue playing after they pull out their February hotfix, and I'm excited for where else it can go if they put more DLC, maybe later in 2021 or maybe even the year after. This is a fun game. It's fun to just explore. Really enjoy it. And let's go on to number 2. My number 2 game for 2020 is actually 2 games. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. And oh man, so I played Tony Hawk when I was younger, and this is just a fun game. Collecting skate is fun. Making 100,000 point combos is fun. Collecting the secrets is fun. All these tricks, all the music, the soundtrack is fun. And this game just like there was like almost no disappointment. You started skating, and get to like the first, like the warehouse level, and it's like, oh, like, getting used to it, and then you keep playing and you get even better and better. So it's just a good time. I think if you have a little bit of history with this game, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, strongly recommend. It is very fun. What did I not like about this game? I think so. This is stupid. So you have the choice to like buy clothing for your character, and so I had a bunch of money and I bought like a shirt, and I could not figure out how to put it on. And so that was kind of like a obscure thing. I was like, well, what's the point of the skate shop if I can't even wear the clothes? So that was weird. I mean, maybe I'm doing it wrong. I didn't feel like this was worth Googling. I was like, whatever, I'll just be the default Tony Hawk character. It's fine. But again, very enjoyable game, very fun. Strongly recommend if you like kind of like that action sport type of game. Number one game for 2020. And this was close because, I had a lot of fun with the other stuff, if you can't tell from my voice. But I think the game that for me that gets it is Final Fantasy VII. The remake. The battle in this game is great. I think like the way they do it with like the action, the ATB gauge is great. I think the materia stuff is great. I think the bonus content to get even better gear is great. And I like that you can take this game at your pace. So if you want to do all these side missions, you can, and if you don't, forget them and just keep playing this main story. And there's plenty of main story, plenty of main stuff to do, plenty of monsters to fight. There's plenty of like dialogue and narrative with like the different actors and the different characters and to do different things in the city, and it is just really fun. And this is a remake, so there was a Final Fantasy game that came out in like '97, and that was great, and I played that and that was fun. And I like how they kind of discuss that even within this game. So the story is fairly similar, but I think closer to the end you kind of realize that this is not going to be an identical copy-paste from the original Final Fantasy VII story. And I think that's a positive. And so they kind of address it. And I think, there's an option for listeners to go in different branches, and I'm excited to see where that goes. This game was really fun. One thing what did I not like about this game? So once you get to the end, you can do like a chapter select. So there's no hub town or hub world or whatever. So once you finish, if you want to like read, go to a certain area or whatever, you kind of have to go to chapter select. And so that wasn't fun for me. I was like, this kind of pulls you out of the magic a little bit. And like I was saying, I have limited time, so it's difficult for me to 100% a game. But for the people that you do want to get in there and do want to fight the level 99 or level 50 whatever ultimate summon, like there's definitely room to do that. And I don't even know what they do with their level system, but it's consistent throughout, and I never felt that I was over leveled or severely under leveled. Like, I guess the things scale to you, and it works. So strongly like this game. Beautiful, great soundtrack, great battle system, and great flexibility for players to play more or less depending on what they want. So what are your thoughts? So again, I'm Mr. Science Trainer Gamer. Coming up, I might do another currency, finance, crypto content. I was a teacher in my past life, so maybe there's more for me to say on this topic now that I've learned more. I might do another game review on Seven Wonders Duel I've kind of been sitting on, and maybe I'll get more software to do videos better. I'm just kind of learning the whole thing still. I'm investigating video editor, so we'll see if I do that with this one. Maybe I'll add some music, so if you see music, that means I did figure it out, and if not, we'll get it next time. But thank you guys for watching. I hope this video was fun and entertaining. See you next time.